Now it's time for Movie Friends with your hosts Michelle and Seth. We're talking film without pretension. We're finding cats that are unexpected. We'll watch a movie, film, or schmovie, and we want you to join our journey. So subscribe and share this podcast, or this might just be the last of the Movie Friends. We're movie friends. We want to be your movie friends.
Hey, welcome to New Release Review, part of the Movie Friends podcast. My name is Seth. Today we're talking about Final Destination Bloodlines from 2025, directed by Zach Lipovsky and Adam B. Stein. We will be discussing spoilers throughout this entire episode, so if you haven't yet seen Final Destination Bloodlines, please do not listen to this, go watch the film, and then come back and listen. My guest for today is a 3-time returning guest, I believe. Erica, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. Happy to be back.
Yeah, we're doing another horror movie, though it's not the one that we wanted.
I'm still holding out hope for more Saw.
Yes, Saw 11. Even though I do think that the John Kramer story probably should wrap up with Saw X, I would like to see maybe a new direction with another Saw movie. People were really resistant to Spiral. I thought Spiral was all right.
I like Spiral. I mean, I like them all, but
Yeah.
there's so many storylines that could be wrapped up in other
Yeah.
places.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk about that long-running, many-entried horror franchise. We're here to talk about Final Destination. So
Hooray!
I want to ask you about the other movies, but first, what were your general thoughts on Final Destination Bloodlines?
My general thoughts were, my expectations were blown away. They were kind of they're not low because I love this franchise, but each one is kind of hit and miss. 3 is a standout for me, and then I didn't really have expectations with this one, but I really liked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, me too. I just recently, maybe the day before, 2 days before seeing this, I watched 4 and 5 for the first time because I can't watch an entry in a series if I haven't seen all the other ones. Even though I think you can, for the most part, go into this with having seen like the first one. The Tony Todd stuff won't hit as hard, I don't think, but for the most part, they explain everything that's happening. So, I probably would have been okay without doing that. But 4 in particular was just so bad. And I actually thought about Saw. I was like, oh, wow, we're really getting into like Saw 6 territory here. My goodness gracious. And 5 was better, but still just too serious. I found 4 to be really mean spirited, and this, I don't know, this franchise is based on this one idea that a group of people misses dying because of a premonition, and then they all talk about how this is happening and death is coming for each one. They don't believe it. Death starts killing them. They try to figure out how to stop it. They don't stop it. End of movie. So many of, I mean, all of the movies prior to this one had the same scenes, almost like, what's that thing called? Mad Libs?
Oh,
where most of the words are filled in and then you just fill in like adjective, noun. That's what Final Destination is kind of like. It's like horror movie Mad Libs. And so going into Bloodlines, my expectations were in the dirt. I was like, oh my God, I'm just not interested in this. And I don't want to see the same thing played out. And then I was really surprised. And they did manage to come up with a new twist on it. It's all one family. These people didn't survive an accident, and so they have no idea what's going on. And it being a family, I actually cared about these people. And I think that that
Mm-hmm.
made a really big difference in the tension of waiting around for them to die. How did you feel about the family, this new idea, and then the family themselves?
I was a little mixed. Like, I also expect, like, clockwork. It's like this. You know what's gonna happen. So it threw me off that that didn't happen. Like that they did go in a different direction. So on one side, I was like, "Whoa, okay, this is weird and new," but on the other side, it is nice to change it up and try something different. I liked the family. Like, you could see those family connections, and it did make you care more, and especially after 4 and 5, where again I also, like, I didn't care about those people. I did care about those people, and watching these movies, it's hard knowing they're gonna die. When you do care about them, you're like, there's probably no chance that they're not gonna die, but it is nice to have that emotional connection to characters in a movie.
Yeah, and I also, I think I can say that I liked all of the characters, or I at least didn't hate some of them. Where in the previous films, some of the people are just really annoying, and I chalk that up to the writing. Like, these movies have not been the most well written films. Dialogue between characters is either non existent or really thin. And so this time around, I felt like they did a good job of setting up the different dynamics between family members and then giving us little things to care about. Like, the little turtle guy.
I loved the turtle.
That's just this. And I was thinking, oh, okay, so this turtle is going to come around to be part of a death. Like, someone's going to slip on the
I
turtle.
thought that too.
Yeah. But no, it just ended up being a little something to give that youngest brother character a little something to care about, which in turn makes us care about him. So I don't know. I had a really good time with this too. I was laughing out loud. I was definitely yelling. Some of the kills and moments were pretty shocking. You know.
I definitely was at points like curled up in my seat. I also laughed out loud. I cried during this movie, which I don't
Wow.
think I've cried in the other ones.
I've heard a few people say that they cried. What part made you cry, if I may ask?
Particularly Tony Todd. Like,
Sure.
his character, he gives a really good monologue, which I believe, if my research is correct, like, he wrote himself.
Hmm.
So yeah, I cried then. I cried at the end. Just any mention of Tony Todd made me cry.
I was not sure going into it how that would be handled. There's always been this idea that his character is death himself, and
Yeah.
I liked that they tied it to the other movies without him having to like name drop specific characters. They give him a beginning, they give him an end, and it, sometimes when Hollywood does things, it can feel kind of ghoulish and inappropriate and like, ooh, I don't know about this. But being able to have the camera on him and him talk about, dying of an illness and just really giving a whole scene to him. Like, the movie stops dead in its tracks, and it almost feels like they do make something of it, because that's when we get the whole MRI scene after it.
Mm.
But like, in the book, she's just like, hey, here's this guy. Oh, hey, here's this hospital. Okay, let's go there. So the movie's like going out of its way to get the Tony Todd scene. And I was like, ooh. But I thought that they handled it well, and it was good seeing him. Obviously, he's very sick while they're recording it. And so that was tough to see. But just because it's tough to see doesn't mean they shouldn't have done it And, you know, he, like you said, he kind of got to talk about himself in a veiled way. And I'm glad to hear that he helped write it.
Yeah, like I hope that's true. I saw that and I thought that was really cool, and it makes sense. Like it ties into his character, but him and his personal life too. And yeah, like it is interesting because I always kind of had that concept that he secretly represents death, but it was really cool to see like this is actually just a guy going through the same thing that they all like all of these characters went through. He just had longevity with it.
Yeah, and I like, sometimes in the movies, the whole idea of like, oh, people die in the order that they were supposed to die, that always gets kind of messy. And then in this one, they're like, hey, when you mess around with death, things get messy. I I don't know. There's something about that I don't enjoy. Like I wish they departed even a little bit more from the rules. Whatever. Okay. So I want to talk to you about the opening scene. We open and it's like
Yes.
50s or 60s. How did you feel when you saw that?
Okay, this is funny. So I'm so used to going to my teeny tiny little local theater. Like I know it like the back of my hand. I haven't gone to my big local theater, like my big chain one, in so long. So I got there, I scanned my ticket. I'm not even sure where to go find my theater. I'm like, I think this is the right theater. There wasn't a poster outside. It just said Theater 5. I was like, I think this is right.
Mm,
I went and sat down, and the movie starts and it's like 50s and 60s. And I was like, I'm still not sure I'm in the right
right,
theater.
right.
So at first I was kind of confused. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to stick it out and I hope this is correct. It could be, but this could also just be a different movie. So at first I was confused, but unrelated to the movie. But I really liked it. Like it was different than the other ones. I was like, okay, we're in a different era right now. So I was interested to see where that was going to go. I also had, if I remember correctly, I believe the song playing in the car was Spirit in the Sky.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I hear that song, I think of Sandlot too, because
Oh,
I
okay.
watched that a lot growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, so the whole time I was thinking about Sandlot too. And I later looked it up, and the actor who plays Paul is the main character in the Sandlot too.
Wow. 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 All right. Well,
Yeah.
that is a connection that I have not heard yet.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone else cares about that connection, but to me, my mind was blown. But like following and seeing that, I'm like, wow, it's him.
Wow. And he's I just looked him up. He's born in London. Wow.
London, England, or Ontario?
Yeah, London, England.
Oh, what an
N-
interesting person.
never would have thought that. He does a
Me
good accent.
neither. But that personal kind of thing aside, I really liked the intro, and the premonition, I think, was one of the stronger ones in the whole series. Like, I was captivated. I kept looking for those little details, like, okay, like, what's going to be the thing that triggers this and that. And I was scared, like, going that high up. I'm like, whoa, like, and my mom's afraid of heights, so I instantly thought of her, and we visited the CN Tower in Toronto and had that experience. And like, I'm not afraid of heights, but it's nauseating doing
Mm-hmm.
that. And I felt that watching that scene. So I was like, oh no, like so much could go wrong here. So it was great, and I was scared.
I love, it's similar to Saw where you just got a good idea, right? What if somebody killed people by not killing them, but put them in a really dangerous trap? A million ideas
Mm-hmm.
spring to mind, right? And with Final Destination, it's basically like, hey, isn't this thing scary? And I am afraid of heights. I've been to the top of the Empire State Building, and it was probably the most scared I've ever been. Um, I would not walk all the way to the edge. So the idea of the CN Tower, um,
Mm-hmm.
any type of building that has a glass floor,
Oh,
get out of here. Like, why are you
like
doing
what?
this?
And why was it the dance floor?
Right.
Oh.
Hmm. So yeah, I mean, just the idea of like, hey, aren't these buildings scary? I'm like, yes, they are very scary, and airplanes are scary, and a racetrack is scary. This one, I loved how long they took
Mm-hmm.
with the opening scene. You could kind of see that scene cut down to a really simple, 5 minutes. You start when they get there, and then you go up the elevator, and then you could cut that really quick. Like some of these opening scenes are cut, and instead you spend a lot more time with the couple. You see the little boy. You see JB when he's younger. You see all the different characters, so that when things kind of go wrong later and people are dying, it's not just like quick flashes of people. And I really liked it. Like, I thought that this was some of the best stuff that they've ever done. I mean, spoiler alert, I'm just going to say, I think that this is probably the best Final Destination. I'll say this is the most well made Final Destination movie. And I would
Mm.
probably say either one or two, and then this one. But I would also not have a problem saying that this is the best one or my favorite one, because I mean, I'm not too precious with this film series. Like, I don't think it's sacrilege to say that this is better than the first one. This isn't like Nightmare on Elm Street, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and like I like the first one, but I think I like it because it's what set the series up.
right,
And like in terms of my favorite plot or my favorite characters or the best quality, like it's not my favorite.
right.
So this one definitely exceeds the ones before. This one's my second favorite in the series. Like 3 is my favorite and it's always going to be my favorite, but I had a hard time like placing this one. I was like it is up there. It is
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah. I have no problem placing it high because, quite frankly, I think a lot of the other ones just aren't good, and they're really riding on this great idea. And I
Mhm.
think if you go to see these movies, is because you know what to expect. And especially with 4, I think they were like, just give them what they want, don't give them
Ugh.
anything else. Like, that movie did not have good acting, good writing, good effects. It didn't have anything other than people dying.
Yeah.
And I didn't even like a lot of the kills in 4, but okay. The opening, I think, is really great. With this one, definitely there's a case to be made that the effects aren't, the greatest in the industry in this one, but I thought that they looked fine. I don't know. How did you feel about like the CGI and the different deaths?
I thought it was fine. Like I
Yeah.
don't expect the only death where I was like, man, that looked kind of cheesy was the sister. I think her name was Julia.
In the
Like when her
garbage truck.
fate, yeah, it, it just didn't look great to me. And I did have someone in my theater yell out, being like, "Wow, that's so gory!" And I'm like, "Oh no, that was not great."
Mm,
But other than that, like, I don't think anything stood out to me or bothered me. And even that was fine. Like, it was just a quick moment. I'm like, I'm not bothered by it.
yeah.
So it was fine.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna go to bat for the effects in this one. If someone really had a problem with the way the movie looked, I would just say, okay, it didn't bother me because I felt like everything else was better this time around.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked it up. They had a $40 million budget for this. You got a lot of different set pieces going on here. I'm kind of impressed that they were able to do this with $40 million, honestly. But that would definitely explain, perhaps, yeah, perhaps why things aren't all looking that great. I saw someone say that this movie really was obsessed with facial trauma, and I didn't really put that together as I was watching. But the grandma dies with like a hole
Oh.
through the face. The sister dies in the trash compactor, and you see her face kind of get smushed. The younger brother dies, and before he does, he's got, his allergies.
Yeah, like what is that? Anaphylactic shock?
Yeah. And so his face is all messed up. The oldest brother, first, when you think that he dies, he's hooked by the nose.
Oh.
But then his facial piercings actually do rip out. The dad's face gets destroyed by a lawnmower.
Wow, there was a lot of face stuff.
Yep. I'm trying to think of the other ones. The two
mom
kids
at
at
the
the
end too.
didn't die, but their mom, her whole face burns.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot of face. Pretty much, if you got it in this movie, your face was going to get really messed up.
That's wild. I did not connect that.
Yeah. So we've got a family of characters here, led by Caitlin Santawana playing Stephanie. And how did you feel about Stephanie as the main character?
I thought she was fine. Like, I liked her. I liked other characters more than her, but I thought she was good.
I think as the movie went on, I liked her more as she was able to do more. In the beginning, when she was just like waking up screaming and being like, I need to know about grandma, I was like, oh, what's happening here? But definitely, that's not necessarily a slam against her as an actor. I thought that she did well. But as the movie is, starting its machine up, I was like, all right, what are we doing here? When her roommate woke up and was like, well, you need to go home and find out about this.
Yeah.
I thought, why don't you just make a phone call? This isn't 1920. Like, what are you talking about?
It did seem weird for the roommate just to be like, oh yeah, it sucks that you're having nightmares. You should leave. And she's like, I will. Goodbye. I'm like, oh.
Right.
Okay.
And it was literally like, goodbye. We'll never see this person again. And I agree. Like, I think that Stephanie is good. I don't think that she's necessarily the standout of the movie, but I did appreciate her arc, and her brother, Charlie, played by Tio Briones. I thought that they had a good dynamic, and it got better as the movie went on. When first he's just like wearing headphones, I'm like,
yeah,
this is a little too bland. I don't know. But I think that they both were able to act through their acting. They were able to give life to maybe some of the stiffer scenes towards the beginning. Who was your favorite?
my favorite was Eric. But I have like a soft spot for like emo-ish kids. It's like, I think, and like that's the reason I love 3 so much, because I love the character Ian so much. And that's because, I don't know, when I watched it, I was in my little emo phase in life, and it kind of has stuck around with me a bit. So when I see characters like that, I'm instantly drawn to them. But he also had a lot of depth. Like, I thought he as a character was well rounded. I really believed he cared about his family and his brother. So I thought his character had a lot of meat on the bones. So I liked him the most. Who did you like?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Eric. And I avoid trailers and spoilers like the plague.
Me too.
But I did see. I don't know if it was the first trailer or not for this one, but it's basically Eric's fake out death scene. Just
that was full. All I saw too.
Yeah, like they just put that out as a trailer, which I was like, okay, that's a pretty good trailer. But now when I see it in the movie, I'm not going to care. But how smart of them to put that in, because the whole time you're sitting there, you're thinking, well, I know that this guy's going to die. And it happens so early on in the movie that then that he doesn't die. Like when he showed up the next day, I was like, whoa,
Me too. I was like,
what
hold
is
up.
happening? And I thought for sure he was just going to die instantly, you know.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're just waiting for him to die.
Yeah. So really good writing, I think, and pairing that with like your marketing to not show him past that scene to preserve the movie for people. Like, what a great idea. Who would have thought? Not ruining your movie in your preview.
What a concept.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that he was really great. He was very funny. Yeah, I don't know. I think he kind of stole every scene that he was in. I don't know that I totally buy him just being like, we're going to kill you and we're going to do it really quickly and traumatically and everything will be okay. Like, you know, maybe a little bit more planning would have been a good idea, but oh well. Did you
Yeah,
have...
that stressed me out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have a food allergy. My kid has some food allergies. I don't I you know, if you had to kill someone and then bring them back, I don't know that that's the way I would choose to do it. But I don't know. I really thought that they were going to reference Flatliners. Like when he was like, I have a plan. Have you seen this movie Flatliners? And I thought that they were going to, you know, do that. Because I guess that is the safest way to kill someone and bring them back. But yeah, they went this way. Did you have a favorite kill?
I think. Oh, okay. So, I forget his name. Was it Howard, the uncle?
Yeah.
I'm tossed up. So I think it's cool to see another kill with the use of a lawnmower. Like you saw that in Sinister, and I haven't seen it anywhere else. And lawnmowers
The
always.
Happening. M. Night
Oh
Shyamalan's The
yeah,
Happening.
yes. But you don't see it much. And lawnmowers, my parents growing up never let me mow the lawn because they were afraid of me like losing a toe or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So they scare me, and I think it's a creative way to die. So that one caught my attention. But I gotta say, Eric's death, like his actual death, was intense.
Yeah. Yeah. Intense and funny. Like I said, in 4, it felt like a lot of the deaths were just cruel. There's just something mean-spirited about it. Where with this one, you care about Eric, you really like him, he's a great screen presence. And he's dying, but then as the piercings are slowly being ripped out, you're also laughing.
Yeah.
Like that's humorous, and that's a hard thing to pull off. Yeah, that's a hard thing to pull off. But I did laugh, and as his nipple rings were getting ripped out, I was like, oh, that's funny. And then I thought, there might be one more.
There sure was. Oh, and that made me cringe.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
I like just even in a little earring ripping out. I'm like, ew, oh, gross. Like that feels just close to home or personal or intimate or something. And I'm like, oh, it's so much worse for him.
Yeah. I was grateful to see this, not in like a full theater, but pretty full theater. And honestly, a lot of the people were a little loud, you know, very loud during previews. And then there was a little bit of talking towards the beginning of the movie. And I thought, oh man, you know, is this going to be a really disruptive theater? But then at the same time, I thought, well, if I yell and exclaim or shout, you know, instinctively, maybe it won't be so out of place. And so we were all, you know, when the piano hits the kid, the whole theater was just like, ah, yeah.
And he deserved that. Oh, that kid sucked.
I was kind of glad, and I'm sure that this will be a point that people are mad about. Like, oh, you're going to tell me this whole thing happened because a kid took a penny out of a fountain and that's bad luck. Yeah. And I'm not saying that the movie's necessarily saying that, but I did like how the penny followed through. Like, it just shows that they put thought into a script and tried to make things make sense beyond just like, hey, wouldn't it be cool to see people die?
Yeah. I like that attention to detail, and I don't care if it's realistic or not. Like, it's just fun.
Yeah. Yeah, like what difference does it make if the kid took the penny and that's why things happened versus just the thing happening? Like, I don't know.
Before we move on from characters, I saw someone on Twitter, or it was a review or something, mention like a full circle moment that I thought was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the kid who played, like the actor who plays Charlie, was also this like one of the stars of the first season of Chucky, that also stars Devon Sawa, who was in the
Oh,
first Final Destination, which I just thought was a cool little full circle moment. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting that like Devon kind of started this franchise, and here we have in the newest installment, like kind of the next generation that he has also worked with.
right. I wish so bad that they did not, kill him off screen and that, like, I get it because you had Tony Todd to be the actor to kind of link all of the movies together. But I wish that we just had Devon Sawa throughout every movie, like going more and more insane and like kind of being like the grandma character in this, where he's just like,
Oh,
totally
that
living in
would have
like
been
a
cool.
padded room and he's learned how to evade death. And, if they if they hadn't killed him off screen, he could come back now that Tony Todd is gone and do that. And maybe they'll just
Yeah.
say, maybe they'll just do it anyway. But
Well, and like speaking of padded rooms and the grandma, like her house did not seem safe.
no, no, not at all.
There was
Like,
stuff everywhere.
what was weird was, so it was very much feeling like another legacy sequel that we got recently, which was the Halloween movies with Laurie
Hmm.
Strode's like, anti Michael Myers compound that she built. That made sense because Michael Myers is a physical being who like moves through physical spaces. Why did she have like spikes to stop death?
Yeah, and like we've seen in this franchise, death comes in really tiny little creative ways, and she's sitting in this house where there's like ceramic pots and plants, like literally even like just that plant hanging, that pot could fall and like hit you in the head. Or
Mm-hmm.
like it didn't seem like when Clear Rivers was trying to avoid death, she did go to a padded room and she
Mm-hmm.
made everyone like like strip all like any pins and
Right.
everything off themselves. Like she was trying. This grandma somehow made it decades in a house full of stuff.
Full of stuff that like glass jars,
Yeah.
wheelie chairs. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but if it's me, I don't have chairs. First of all, I have big cushions on the ground. That's where I sit.
Yeah, like I have in real life seen people get hurt by sitting on a wheelie chair.
Yeah, that was the part I didn't love. That like when we went to that compound, I was like, "What are we doing? Like, this is really really out there." And then yeah, like you, when we saw inside, I was like, "Grandma, this is dangerous. This is dangerous just for a normal person." I feel like to live
Yeah,
in.
yeah. This is not someone actively avoiding death, like with every moment.
And I mean, to her credit, she does say like, "I've learned to see him. Like I've learned to see death, and I've learned to see his tricks and when he's around." And so maybe it's more so that she could live wherever, but she just has to be attentive to death. I don't know. I
Hmm.
That part I think you could make a little different, and the movie would not suffer.
Yeah.
um, how did you feel about the twist about Eric?
I liked it because, yeah, the whole time you expect him to die in that death scene or the tattoo parlor scene, and then when he doesn't, you're like, whoa, what do you mean? So I thought that twist was good. And then later on in the movie, I expect him to die on some level, but I'm like, well, no, he's not even related. Like, he's
Right.
safe. Our boy is safe. So you're kind of not even thinking about him dying next. You're like, okay, we're on to the next person. Like, what's going to happen? So I thought it was good.
Yeah, it's weird that he gets that big first death scene in the tattoo shop, and then they're like, "Oh no, he's not related," and it's like, "Well, then why did all that happen to him?" You can't tell me
He's just bad luck.
that was just bad luck. Like what? Or did death come for him, and then at the final second they were like, "Oh wait, oh sorry, I
It's
almost
like, no,
killed you."
hold up. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Hmm.
Yeah. Or maybe it's like by association. Like, we're not going to kill you because you're not related, but like you're kind of related to these people. Like, maybe we'll just tease you a bit. And
So we come to the end. They decide, okay, we're going to keep everybody safe. We're going to go to the house and deposit the mom at her mom's house, and she'll live there forever, and then we'll be safe. I was like, okay, I get that, but just driving in a big RV, like, I don't know. I would be like, we're going to make another safe house where we are right now. I don't know. So the mom dies pretty unceremoniously. Like, that was pretty shocking. And then the brother and sister survive. You think that she dies. And then you find out at the end that her heart did not stop. So she didn't actually die. And then we get a train crash. They survive the train crash, and then they do not survive the log truck. How did you feel about this ending?
I thought it was a little rushed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the other characters had not like longer, full length, well rounded death scenes.
Yeah.
The mom just all of a sudden, she was just dead. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. And yeah, driving all of them together, I'm like, it would make most sense to me for the sister not to be with them. Like, if the mom and brother went, because the sister would need to die before the brother. So I feel like that would keep them in the car safe, because like the mom has to die next, but then it's the sister. So like, I don't know, separating would have made more sense. The whole car could have just exploded. So yeah, like, it felt rushed. The mom was just suddenly dead. The whole thing with the sister drowning, like, oh, okay. And I don't know, their deaths weren't as well thought out, I think, or as fun as some of the other characters. The train was crazy. Like, that just comes out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
The log was cool. Like, it's cool to see those nods to previous movies, and I think the log truck in number 2 is arguably one of the scenes that resonates the most with people. Like,
Oh
people still
yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Every time you're on the highway, you get scared of a log. So it was cool that it tied into that, but it felt like extreme, but also not thought out. I don't know.
It's the most. It's. I think it is the most rushed death, and I, 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 I didn't hate it at the time, I guess is what I'll say. Like, when it happened, I just kind of was like, wow, all right, that was a wild movie. And it's like a mic drop moment. Like, they're not going to dwell on it. It's just boom, it happens, movie's over. They didn't escape. Whatever. We're on to the next thing. So, yeah, now that I'm away from the theater, I would say that I don't love it, but like I said, at the time, I was like, all right, cool. That movie was better than I thought.
Yeah,
And I think I was just
yeah, like,
riding high on that I was, halfway through a Final Destination movie and I was enjoying myself.
yeah, like, I'm not mad at it. Just compared to the other deaths, it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah. So
But it's
I'm
fine.
curious, if they make another one, because this was what was this? 14 years in between movies?
It's been a while,
Yeah.
yeah. Like,
I
at
th-
least a decade.
yeah, I think that 5 was 2011.
Wow.
So, in case you don't feel old. So I'd be curious to see if they do another one, and if in doing another one they kind of carry on with this idea, or if they find a new way to link a bunch of people together with death. I would like them to do a submarine, because any type
Oh,
of underwater
yeah.
is so scary and terrifying.
The deep sea is scary.
Yeah. So just throwing that out there, Final Destination people, if you want a good idea.
There could be potential to like link to this one, because with the web of people and all of those deaths, like there's a lot to work with. And like I really liked the direction this went in, but I was also bummed out from that we see all these people in the initial opening scene and the premonition scene. I was like, I kind of want to know what happened to them, like the bellhop, or
Sure.
like
Yeah.
JB's mom, or like the lady who initially gets squished by the piano against the glass. Like, what were their actual deaths?
Right. Yeah. Maybe they'll go back and do those.
Yeah, who knows?
Did you have anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to mention?
I guess we didn't really talk about like the glass shard family barbecue scene.
Oh my god.
And
That was funny because Stephanie is kind of realizing what's happening, but she's in another house, and then she's
mhm.
racing over to get there, and it was like everything that every member of the family was doing was incredibly dangerous for different reasons, and I wasn't sure at that point. I wasn't sure who was gonna get it, and I was bummed out that it was Howard, because I liked Howard.
He was great. I loved Howard. And yeah, like that family, like they were lucky that they weren't already all dead. They were just walking on hazard after hazard. I'm like, guys, be careful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I watch a lot of Bar Rescue, and as soon as like the glass shard is in the ice, I'm like, you gotta burn the ice, burn
Mm-hmm.
the ice. What are you
Mm-hmm.
doing?
I'll tell you, man, if you have any type of traumatic experience related to drinking, that
Oh,
never leaves you. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was probably 5, we drank a can of Juicy Juice. I don't know if Juicy Juice is even a brand anymore. Have you ever heard of Juicy Juice?
I think I have, but I'm thinking of juicy fruit. I think like the juicy juice is gonna move ya.
Oh, I don't know what that. Juicy Juice came in like cans, like metal cans, and you'd have to open it with a can opener or punch it with a
Oh
can opener.
wow.
And so we had a can of it, and my mom just put a punch in the top and poured
Mm.
out. And then when she went to open the can to recycle it, there was mold in it, and we had
Ugh.
all already drank out of it. And I'm telling you, to
Ugh.
this day, every drink that I drink, I check for mold. If it's a soda bottle, if it's a Snapple, and I just do it without thinking, right? But I remember back to that
Yeah.
time, and also I've been a dishwasher several times in my life, and I've cut myself on wine glasses. I've cut myself, just
Mm-hmm.
tiny little nicks, and so every single time I wash, so yeah,
Yeah.
cups, drinking, all that. That's a real uh, sore spot. So I was bugging out during that scene.
That's something I like about these movies too. Like going into it, I'm like, what everyday thing am I going to be afraid of after watching
Mm-hmm.
this movie? And like, yeah, having a glass of water, you just don't know, I guess. It was
Yeah.
also weird that the family is like, let's do a family toast with water.
Well, I thought it was weird that they were like, let's do a family barbecue with pretty much just us. I mean, that's very nice. They're very close family, but they're going on like it's a party. And I'm like, this is just you guys. Like, and then a strange mom who shows up with death cookies. Like, like so
You're
yeah.
right though. Like it's just that family and then one cousin and the dad that are the guests there
Right.
initially. I'm like, that's just 2 extra people for
Right.
now.
Right. But you know what? Hey, Howard likes to throw a barbecue, so
Oh,
let
he
him
is missed.
do it.
Oh man.
But yeah, overall, I think this is a good movie. I'm like so close to rating this 4 stars.
I have
Like,
changed my rating 4 times. I
wow,
went
okay.
first. I was like 4, and I was like, you know what? Maybe 3.5. And then I was like, I don't know, maybe 4. So I've gone up and down. I'm like, no, I do think it's a 4 for me.
Mm-hmm.
I almost want to go see it again. Like it's a long weekend here in Canada, so like maybe I'll just go again.
Sure. I mean, I would like to go see this, or I would definitely rewatch this. Like I said, it's fun. It's fun without being mean to the characters. This is kind of, I feel like, one of the best versions of what this story could be. And yeah, yeah, the movies are back. Like, what can we say?
It's a good year for movies.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's a good year for horror, which,
It
we
sure
hear
is.
every single year.
The last few years though have been pretty solid. Like there's been a few like really good horror movies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I, I have a lot of thoughts on that whole thing. It's like every year is a good movie for horror because every year you can pull out 10 movies. And if you look beyond just like North America too,
Mm-hmm.
like if you can't pull 10 from North America, all right, well, what were they doing in Japan during that year? You can probably find a good 3 to round out your 10. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's movies are good. If you focus on every single movie that releases, yeah, you'll be like,
Yeah.
oh man, there were some stinkers this year, but time will wash those away, and all we'll be left
Mm-hmm.
with is, being like, oh my god, the year Barbarian came out, the people at the time didn't realize that was one of the best years for horror ever. It's like, okay, whatever. Anyway, Erica, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for having me. Hopefully we'll be back to talk Saw one day.
We can only hope at this point. Yeah, I'll keep my Saw thoughts to myself, but well, I'll just say this. You don't need John Kramer to have Saw. And we love Tobin Bell. He is that series, but you know what? I think there's enough there to move to a new story and still do the gimmick. And I think it's okay for things to end. And if we end at Saw X, great, you know? But
It is a great ending.
yeah, but I think it's a great ending for John Kramer. Anyway, Erica, where can people find you online?
My best place would be on Twitter. I am at hi Erica. Erica with a C.
All right, very cool. All right, well, hey, we'll figure out another movie. Maybe not a horror movie. I don't know. That would be weird.
Yeah, let's change it up.
Yeah, find a rom-com that you're interested in or something. Well, hey, thank you very much for listening. We would love it if you give us a rating and a review wherever you're listening. It really helps the show. It's the only thing that can combat the evil AI overlords. Okay? So if you want to help us do that, leave us a rating and a review wherever you're listening. Hey, if you're listening on Spotify, you can comment on the episode. Let us know what your favorite death was. Let us know if you liked the departure from the normal setup to this whole family bloodline thing. Whatever. You can also send us an email, moviefriendspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you are eating for lunch, what you're watching for June, what you're looking forward to for the rest of the year, anything. We love it all. Send us an email. You can also support the show, patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. $5 a month gets you access to all of our additional episodes and series, our patron-only Discord, and you get to vote on monthly episodes and quarterly themes. It's a whole bunch of stuff, folks. Come on. It's the price of a single banana. Just eat one less banana a month, okay? You've been meaning to cut back anyway. This is a great opportunity to do so. All right. Well, thank you very much, Eric. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
And thank you very much for listening. Until next time, have a good one.
Movie Friends is produced by Seth Vargas and Michelle Rubenstein. Theme music by Jean Marie Vargas. Visit us at our website, moviefriendspodcast.com, and please subscribe and rate our show wherever you are listening. You can support Movie Friends at patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. Thanks for listening.